Hi, you Evolving Now family. I'm Andre Young, and welcome to the Thought of the Week. This week's topic is anger. Now, I'm so excited to be talking with you about this because we have so many different feelings. And through You Evolving Now, I'm usually talking about positivity, motivation, inspiration, us living our dream, and yes, all of that stuff matters. But we got some darker feelings, darker emotions out there that also matter, and we need to take into account for our lives and living our best lives as well. And one of them is anger. So, in Thought of the Week form, I'm going to ask a question from my Evolve book, answer it, and then ask it back to you. But you know that we always do our quote first. If we are patient in one moment of anger, we will escape 100 days of sorrow. Chinese proverb. Absolutely love it. Because you know, like I know, that when we blurt things out in frustration, anger, and in that moment, those things never go away. Those words matter and they linger. That act matters and it lingers. So although somebody can forgive us, work past it, that will never be erased. It's like the cloud, whatever that is. Once it's in there, it's in there. So here's the question for us. What does your anger look like in your 4Ps? Now, the importance of this question is monumental because we have anger, I have anger, and it's so important that we're honest with ourselves as to what it looks like, what we look like when we're angry. Now, when I answer this personally, I am 6 foot, 210 pounds. I used to be an athlete. I do my best to still train like an athlete. And I have to know what I look like when I get angry. So if I'm angry at home or in your 4Ps as a person, partner, parent, or professional, I can look like, now I'm not a big guy, but I'm a big little guy. And I start getting angry and I'm demonstrative and I'm beating my chest and yelling and screaming, I need to know what that looks like. What would my wife see and think if she saw me in that manner? What do my kids, who tend to be smaller than their parents, especially when they're young, looking up at this giant, beating his chest, yelling and screaming and cursing and doing those type of things, if that's what my anger looks like? I also take into account that I'm a minority and I live in the suburbs and in the country. And it's a shame that race has to play a part, and perhaps it plays more of a part with me than it does with someone else. But I really don't want to be the stereotypical angry black guy. So those things matter. We need to know how we look. So my question is, what do you look like when you're angry? What do you sound like when you're angry as a significant other, a girlfriend, boyfriend, husband, or wife? Many of us can, like I said, beat our chest, yell, scream, demand. Some of us can say very hurtful things that we can never take back, although be forgiven for. Some of us will disconnect and will do the silent treatment for a long time, as if that doesn't have consequences. Because as we are depriving somebody of their need of communication, intimacy, love, it's hard to then say, okay, now I'm ready. I'm back now. I'm not mad anymore. And expect them to be ready and happy to receive you. What does our anger look like as a parent? Now, I mentioned before how small our kids are, or how impressionable they are when they're teenagers and maybe bigger and taller than you. They still need our love. And when we are saying hurtful things to them and beating them up and beating them down throughout the day emotionally, those things hurt because it starts to form who they are. It starts to form who they be around and who they become and then who they select in the future. So let's be mindful of our anger and be able to apologize for it when that does happen. What does our anger look like as a professional? Now, I've been in jobs where things were great and then they got bad. Or I've been in jobs where maybe I didn't want to be there, but it was necessary for me to be there. And what I know happens a lot when we're angry and frustrated, boy, nobody can complain Better than two or three or more coworkers together talking about the job, putting it down, oh, it's another Monday, or the boss, and being able to team up against the man or woman or whatever job you have. And we as employees, when I was an employee, we can tend to act like our employer came and woke us up out of our bed at gunpoint to come to the job that we applied for, that we would really be sad and really messed up in life right now if we lost today. So what does our anger look like? Is it helping you? Is it hurting you? And what are you willing to do about it? What are we willing to do about it today? What amends are we ready to make? What changes are you ready to make? Now, on a scale of 1 to 10, how bad is your anger? Where is it? What's that number mean for you? How would you like to improve it so you can feel better about you and have a better life and relationships? What is something you know you can do better or know you should do better that will make a difference? Start implementing your answer. One of the things that I chose to do is because when I used to get angry, I used to be angry for days. I used to be angry for days and upset and then think that I could just come back and join the party of life. What I learned to do was collapse time frames. So I used to be upset and be self-righteous about why I was upset for a day or so. Then I sat back and said, okay, well, whoever that I'm upset at typically isn't the devil themselves. They're a good person that had their reason why they did what they did or said what they said. Then, okay, what is it that I want to do or need to do that can fix and help this situation move forward? So those three things, which used to take days, I concentrated on collapsing them into maybe hours and, if I can, minutes. So if that's helpful and resonates with you, please use it. Now remember, you are entitled, just like I am entitled, to our feelings. But we are also entitled to the consequences of the behavior that follows our feelings. So if we're angry, act angry, and do angry things, then there's consequences that we must endure afterwards. And if you're okay with those consequences, then so be it. But most of the time, we're not. So be angry. We can be sad. We can be frustrated. But be able to collapse that time frame and be angry with love, respect, and honor so you don't have to pay for those consequences moving forward. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Think about these questions. But more importantly, please live your answer. What does your anger look like in your 4 Ps? What would you like to stop, start, or continue doing regarding your anger that will allow you to live your best life and have your best relationships? It will all come down to relationships, and your anger typically will not help those relationships. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in. If you like this, you're going to love the app. Download YEN Push and let me live in your pocket. If you're a company and you like this, if you're a school and you like this, and you're a coach and you like this, go to youevolvingnow.com and see all of the services that I and my team offers at your site. Guys, thanks so much. I will see you next time. Enjoy your day and your evolution. Take care.